Good morning! In today's class, we will continue to study about the interrogative determiner. And we will study about the interrogative determiner what? That is the second type of the second sort of the interrogative determiner. The speaker specifies the range of the indication about a subject or an object which is not a person with a description by the interrogative determiner what. The speaker applies the interrogative determiner what to describe a subject or an object that is not a person. So we can understand that the premise to apply the interrogative pronoun what to indicate a subject or an object that is not a person still valid. The premise is still valid in applying the determiner what in a clause, in an interrogative clause. Plus, from the trait of the determiner, we can understand that the speaker intends to know about the description to narrow down and specify the range of the object indicated by a noun or a pronoun to indicate a subject or an object that is not a person. There are 3 examples. What conversation is it? What kind of person has the key? What cube do you want? There are 3 examples, and from the let's analyze briefly from the first example. What conversation is it? In this clause, the interrogative determiner what is applied to describe the subject indicated by the general noun conversation. The general noun conversation indicates something that is not a person. So we can understand that the application of the interrogative determiner what is proper. And we can understand that the speaker intends to narrow down, specify the exact range of the subject in this clause with the description for the noun conversation. So that's the reason why the speaker applies the interrogative determiner what, and the interrogative determiner what and the general noun conversation form a phrase. And this phrase has the role of the subjective complement to describe the subject it in a way to define the subject it. In the second example, the interrogative determiner what is applied to describe the noun kind. And we understand that, we know that the noun kind doesn't indicate a person. So we admit that the application of the interrogative determiner what for the noun kind is proper. The speaker sets a phrase of a noun kind with the interrogative determiner what. So two words, what kind, forms a phrase of a noun. And this phrase of a noun has the role of the subject in this clause. And this subject, what kind, is described by a preposition of. And so preposition, from the definition of the preposition of, we can understand that what kind this subject of the preposition is included in the object person. And we studied the premise that the determiner what can describe a subject or an object that is not a person, but with the description by the preposition of and the object of the preposition of the person makes the phrase included in the range of the person. So before this description, the phrase of the preposition of what kind can be understood as a phrase for indicating a subject that is not a person, but with the additional description by the preposition of and the object of the preposition person, we can understand that this phrase becomes a part of the person that is the object of the preposition of. And in the large scale, we can analyze the phrase of the noun, what kind of person is the subject of the transitive verb has, but in the higher scale, in the specified scale, we can set the only word kind as the core of the phrase is the only subject of the transitive verb has. And in the third example, what cube do you want? The interrogative determiner what describe the general noun cube. So we can understand that the speaker intends to know about the description to specify, to narrow down the entire range of the indication to only to a limited range of cubes. And this combination, the interrogative determiner what and the general noun cube, form a phrase of a general noun cube. Because this word is an indication and this word is a descriptive word for the indicative word cube. The phrase of the general noun what cube forms a phrase of a general noun, and this phrase has the role of the object to receive the definition of the transitive verb want from the listers as the subject. Okay, let's start to study one by one. The first example is this. What conversation is it? The speaker applies the interrogative determiner what to specify the range of the subject that the speaker intends to deal with in the clause among the entire subject, which is not a person, indicated by the noun conversation. The phrase of the noun, what conversation, to include the interrogative determiner what, practices the role as the subjective complement. To define the subject it, which is not a person, by the definition of the be verb. There is one of the possible examples, possible responses from the first example. What conversation is it? the conference is this. It is the righteous conversation. We can understand that the two words, the definite article the as the determiner and the adjective righteous accord with the interrogative determiner what in the interrogative clause. The two descriptive words specify the subject conversation. The speaker specifies the range of the subject indicated by the general noun conversation with the definitions of the determiner the and the adjective righteous. The descriptions of the determiner the and the adjective righteous classified as a description correspond with the interrogative determiner what in the aspect that the descriptions specify the range of the subject indicated by the noun conversation. The second example is this. What kind of person has the key? The speaker applies the interrogative determiner what to specify the range of the subject that the speaker intends to deal with in the clause among the entire subject, which is not a person, indicated by the noun kind. The subject described by the interrogative determiner what is not a person, does not indicate a person, but with the additional description by the preposition of, we can understand that the combination, the phrase of the general noun what kind is included in the range of the object person. From the definition of the preposition of to mediate the relationship between the subject what kind and the object person. The subject what kind and the object person share the same traits because the subject what kind is included in the object person. The subject of the transitive verb has is the subject, whose range is specified among the entire subject indicated by the noun kind, with the unit of the descriptions. The interrogative determiner what, the noun kind to indicate the subject of the preposition of, and the preposition of as an adverb for the noun person. Thank you for watching.